Hi, welcome to Inkpot. This video is in continuation to Unit 1 of Cost Accounting. So let's proceed. Limitations of cost accounting. Let's have a look at the limitations. Expensive and time consuming. Obviously, whenever you will introduce a new system in the organization, it is expensive and it is time consuming. Segregation of common costs is difficult. There are certain costs which are common. For example, our organization is producing three products: product A, product B, and product C. And we are paying salary to the general manager. Now, this salary of general manager is an overhead and it is not a cost which can be assigned to a particular product. So this cost has to be divided between the three products A, B and C. So it is very difficult to decide the basis on which the cost will be divided. Next, based on estimates. Cost accounting is based upon estimates and not on actual facts and figures. And next, does not provide solution to the problem. Cost accounting does not provide the solution to the problem in a way that we need to calculate the profits. But there are certain items which are not included in cost accounting, which are of pure financial nature. So we cannot calculate the profits through cost accounting. So it is not a solution. It is not a substitute to the financial accounting. Lack of support from the top management. Cost accounting system lacks support from the top management. It is always whenever you introduce a new system in the organization, there is always some sort of resistance from the staff. And next is also almost same, resistance from the existing staff. So new system is always, for a new system in the organization, resistance is always there from the existing staff. Now, another important question for cost accounting is items which are excluded from cost accounts. So there are certain items which are of pure financial nature and are excluded from cost accounting. You have to cram these items. First, appropriation to sinking fund, that is whenever you are transferring some amount to reserves, that is not to be included in cost accounting. Dividend paid, it's an item of pure financial nature. These items are of pure financial nature, that is why we are not going to include these item in cost accounting. So appropriation to sinking fund, dividend paid, taxes on income, transfer to general reserve, expenses written off, charitable donations, etc. Now there are more items like loss on sale of investment, interest on bank loan, damages payable, penalties and fines. These are pure financial charges and are excluded from cost accounting. We have certain pure financial incomes also which are not to be included in cost accounting. Interest received on bank deposits, profit on sale of investment, transfer fees, brokerage, discounts, commissions, interest and dividends received on investment. These are pure financial incomes and are not included in cost accounting. Now, what are the difficulties in installation of cost accounting system? We have already discussed this. Lack of support from the top management, resistance from existing staff, non-cooperation from the other staff members, shortage of trained staff, heavy cost, time consuming, expensive, etc. Now, what are the techniques of costing? First technique we have is marginal costing. Now, what is this marginal costing? Let's discuss. Marginal costing is like, we all know that marginal costing is cost of producing one additional unit. So it is equal to, how do we calculate marginal cost? Sorry, in marginal costing, we use the formula sales minus variable cost is equal to contribution, and contribution minus fixed cost, we get profit. This is how we calculate profit by using marginal costing technique. That is, it says that we sell a product, right? And we should deduct the cost of the product, which is variable cost. Variable cost is a product cost, and we should deduct the cost of the product from the sales of the product to get the profit of the product, which is known as contribution, and all fixed costs should be covered from the contribution to get the profit. Now, direct costing. What is this direct costing? It may be similar to marginal costing. So in this, all direct costs are charged to operation, process or product, and all indirect costs are written off against the profits. That is, we charge all variable cost, all direct cost to the from the sales, and all indirect costs are written off against the profit. So it is different from marginal costing, as some fixed costs may be considered as direct costs. Now next we have absorption costing. Absorption costing is also known as full costing. In this, we charge full cost from the sales. That is, unlike marginal costing, wherein we have deducted only variable cost from the sales to calculate the contribution. But in case of absorption costing, it is like this: sales minus total cost. So whenever we are using the word total cost, it means variable cost plus fixed cost. So we have deducted the entire total cost from the sales to get out the profit. So this is known as absorption costing, right? So what is the standard costing? In standard costing, we calculate a predetermined cost. This is the predetermined cost, and then we measure the actual cost of the product. So if there are certain variances, we calculate the difference between the standard cost and the actual cost. So standard cost minus actual cost will give you variances, and if there are certain variances, we take corrective actions. This is known as standard costing. This is known as standard costing. Now next, uniform costing. It is basically it is basically for the intra-firm comparisons, and in this we use similar methods. Like a standardization may extend to the methods of costing, classification including codes, methods of charging, depreciation, methods of allocation and apportionment of overheads, and this enable inter-firm and intra-firm comparison. So this is uniform costing, when we use similar methods in cost accounting for the purpose of comparison. Now ABC costing. ABC costing is basically, it helps to divide the overhead cost more appropriately than the traditional costing. That is, cost is divided on the basis of activities. For example, I'll write here. Just a minute. ABC costing. What we, for example, we have two products, X and Y. Now here we are not going to divide the cost on the basis of cost center, rather we are going to divide the cost on the basis of activities. And different activities are like machine setup cost, we have inspection, one activity is inspection. So for example, the number of machine setups are 30 for product X, and it is 20 in case of product Y, and the total cost is 40,000 for machine setups. Similarly, inspection cost is, let's say number of inspection is 500 for product X, and it is 600 for product Y, and the number of inspections, the total cost is 1,10,000 inspection cost. Now here we will divide, we are going to do the this cost proportionately. So 40,000 will be divided in the ratio of 30:20, and similarly 1,10,000 will be divided in the ratio of 500:600. So this is the ratio we are going to use for dividing the cost. So here in activity based costing, the overhead cost is divided on the basis of activities conducted. So it is more appropriate, believed to be more appropriate method than traditional costing. Now what is this target costing? In target costing, we follow a reverse strategy. Here we first of all, we do not calculate the cost of the product. As per target costing, we set a target price on the basis of market survey. So let's say our target price is 10 rupees per unit, right? Rupees 10 per unit. Now we know our target profit. We will calculate our target profit. Let's say we want to earn 20% profit, right, on cost. If 20% profit margin on cost, it means, sorry, 20% profit, let us say we want to earn 20% profit on selling price, so it will be 2 rupees. So 10 minus 2 will give us target cost 80. So we should try that cost should not go beyond, go beyond rupees 8, right? So this is how we calculate the target cost in case of target costing. We follow reverse strategy. We determine the target price, we determine our profit margin, and then we move on to the target cost. Now the life cycle costing. Life cycle costing, in this we calculate the cost of the life cycle cost of the entire product. The technique used to estimate the total life cycle cost of procurement is called life cycle costing. It is the procurement process which considers the overall total cost, that is the sum of acquisition and life cycle ownership cost of an item. Let's say, for example, if we are going to manufacture a product, first of all, we will do R&D of that product. So various costs involved during the life cycle of the product are R&D cost, we have production cost per unit, we have customer service cost, that is also generally per unit, then we have promotional cost, we have retirement cost. These are generally one time. So promotional cost is advertisement cost and retirement cost is disposal cost. And we check how many number of units we produced during the entire life cycle of the product. So the total cost, sum of all this is the total cost, and then we divide the total cost by the number of units produced during the entire life cycle. So we will get life cycle cost per unit. The only purpose is that it helps to identify least cost alternative and help in better decision making. So this is known as life cycle costing. Now the role of cost accountant. What is the role of cost accounting? Maintenance of record, cost ascertainment, cost controlling, pricing of the product, cost reduction, evaluation of performance, assist in decision making, and improves the efficiency. This we all have discussed in the previous videos. Thank you.